Hello and welcome to your interactive oracle card reading for the week of May 13th, 2018. First up, I want to wish all of the mothers out there a very happy Mother's Day on Sunday. There is no greater gift, really, than the learning that you gain through your relationship with a child. We're certainly experiencing that in our house as our son is about to turn 16, and so he's been learning to drive. And that's been quite a process, but such an enriching one. And I just learn more about myself through his reactions to me and in our relationship, our navigation of those waters as he begins to learn to become independent. So it is a great gift in our lives to be mothers. So enjoy your day tomorrow on Sunday, mothers out there. So let's get into this week. We have an intense week because there's a lot going on in the sky. I was listening to one of my favorite astrologers this morning on YouTube, and I liked his mention of the word anticipation. I feel like there is a sort of bubbling under the surface that many of us have been feeling, particularly last week. People may have been experiencing some drastic change in their life coming up. And a lot of this is being spurred by the fact that Uranus, the planet of dramatic change, but also freedom and renegade energy, is changing signs. And this only happens every 7 years. And it takes 84 years for Uranus to make a full transit around all of the signs. So it's a big deal when this outer planet makes its move into a new sign. And it's going into Taurus. So this is where we may experience some change having to do with our stability in life, what brings us stability, but also the things that we really value, the things that we think are really beautiful, and what beauty represents in our life. And I don't want to spur fear in you about this. My intention for this reading is for us to use these powerful energies to our advantage. So though Uranus is very much like a lightning bolt kind of energy that comes down and your life is like forever changed, it's powerful like that, just as Pluto makes way for total transformation. Uranus wants to bring you to a new level of freedom. And I'd like to encourage you to think about your coming week and these really drastic energies that are happening in terms of coming to a greater level of freedom. That there are things that can occur, change occurs in our life in order to free us from something that we have outgrown. That it's time to kind of push you out of the nest and you're going to learn to fly to a new destination now. And it may be a longer journey, but there's joy in that journey. So not only is Uranus changing signs, but we have Mercury and the moon today is moving into Taurus. And then during this coming week, all of the planets are going to be in fixed signs. So there is going to be sort of this lockdown feeling to the week. But yet, there is the rub of that Uranus transit into Taurus. And Uranus is going to bring this much needed upset into those areas where you just want to be locked down and you want to be really stable. That's Taurus. I love stability, safety, having a plan, but also Taurus is the beautiful things in life. So there may be change, but it's to bring you not only the level of freedom, but new insights into what you really value, because that too over our lifetime changes, and it can change dramatically. And so something may occur that allows you to get insight into, wait a minute, this I really value this now. That over there that I used to think was beautiful and so worth my time and so much in my set, matching my set of values, is no longer me. Because as humans, we change constantly. That's the only thing we can count on here on this planet is change. And Uranus is the planet of change. So I'm always encouraging embracing this energy instead of being fearful of it. Because we do need to think about the tone, like a big radio tower, that we're sending out there when we connect with this Uranus energy. And what is that? What tone are you putting out there? And are you saying, oh, I'm scared about whatever you're going to bring? Because this is always intense when a planet, especially an outer planet with a very slow transit time, makes a shift into a new sign. It's like, wow, a whole new day is coming. But this is a really good thing. Remember the words this week: freedom, values, beauty, joy, and especially in nature. Allow nature to sort of ease whatever comes up, okay? Because that's Taurian energy, and you can remain grounded in nature. Get out there with your bare feet. Go enjoy time away. It will be worth it. So the energy for this week is that we have a new moon happening on Tuesday the 15th. So I want to go with the new moon symbol because new moons are always a time of setting new intentions for this moon cycle. But I want to invite you to set a new intention with Uranus making this shift into Taurus. This is a big deal. This all happens on Tuesday. So you're really making an intention for the next 7 years in what brings you, what do you define as your stability, your safety? What do you define as your beauty in your life or things that bring you joy? What do you define in terms of your values? All of this is up for review with Uranus moving into this area. So we're going to go with the symbol for this new moon, for this reading, which is Taurus 25, a vast public park. And I want to tie this to a feeling that I've had since Chiron moved into Aries, that I really think that there is room for us to think about letting go of our stories, letting go of these components of who we have always been up to now, up to this point in your life. That maybe it's a time to just chop it off and let it be. Let it become part of your past. It has made you who you are. But we don't have to be connected to a story or a set of stories any longer. That's what I think Chiron in Aries is going to be teaching us over the next 9 years. We become the leader of our own life. We become the storyteller how we want it to be. That we don't have to adopt a story that has been glommed onto us and that we continue to hold on to. The other thing for this reading that I want to bring up that's related to a vast public park is something that the horses reminded me of this week as I was in meditation and doing some of my own work, is the concept of back to grazing. This is a card in the Way of the Horse deck by Linda Kohanov. It's really is my favorite card in the deck. And that the concept is that when horses are, in a field, in a herd, even wild horses, they will deal with whatever they come across. They will deal with whatever is in the moment, and then they go back to grazing. And I think there's an opportunity for us with this Uranus, for us to test out this concept over the next 7 years in areas of what we consider stability, what we consider safety. Money also lives in this area of Taurus. Things that you value, things that you think are beautiful. That we can deal with whatever comes up in those areas, but we don't have to get attached to the story. Think about just maybe taking a cue from the horses. This is why I feel their brilliance when I work with them, because it's a very simple concept that humans could benefit from tremendously. You deal with what's in front of you, and you do the best you can, because we're all in a herd together, and we figure out our role within that, and there is a peace that is found, and then they go back to this place of pure enjoyment and grace, and knowing that really that's always available to us. They could just have had a massive skirmish, some, dominant male or mare acting out and being sure that everybody understands their place in the herd. However, then everybody comes back to this place of peace. And that's possible for us too, and I feel that with a vast public park. Uranus is going to invite us to open up our thoughts around those areas that I mentioned, to get out of the lockdown position that we feel in some of those topics, and to, see that there is much more plain out there available for us to graze upon. And we don't necessarily need to stay in a mindset or in a relationship or in a situation, scenario, environment, whatever it is, because there's something, else coming along that is leading you to a place of this greater peace. So to understand too that to be mindful in the moments as they come up, and to just fully be there, be present, and deal with it. Not necessarily by blowing our top, but to use our energy efficiently and deal with what we've got in the moment. But the horses teach us they don't carry the story with them. The energy exchange occurs, there is an understanding, and boom, everybody's back to doing what is, just pure peace and contentment, most of all. And we also can pick that. That's what I feel a vast public park is. You can go into this huge, let's say, Central Park, going in there, and there'll be people doing all kinds of things. And it's up to you what you feel drawn to go and be part of, or to do yourself. Or you're just going to lay in the sun, or you're going to watch a juggler that's just doing a juggling act to earn a little bit of coin. Or you're going to go buy a pretzel and sit under a tree and just really enjoy the taste of that. The point is that you have the choice, and that you get to pick who and what you interact with, and to pull out of that the enjoyment piece. And what if this is part of dropping the story of pain and woundedness that I feel Chiron is calling us to? Chiron doesn't want to be the wounded healer anymore. I've had enough. I can totally feel that energy from that, from that role that Chiron has played for all of these millennia. And it's not woundedness anymore. You're capable. You are fully capable, and there are choices out there. And so we don't have to drown in our story of our woundedness. Instead, we can choose to look towards those Taurian, feelings in life, that actually things are working out more often than they aren't. We come to a level of stability, and there's always beauty available for us to fixate upon, like the horses going back to grazing. They find that is their contentment. That is how they just are, period. And we can be the same. So let's see how these cards play out on this message around a vast public park. And remembering, we're making the intention here not only for this new moon on Tuesday, but really for the next 7 years. And again, this is around topics such that are Taurian topics, such as money, security, stability, safety, what you feel is beautiful in your world through your vision, and what you value in your life. Okay? Change is good. The first card up is from the Angel Tarot. Oh yeah, release. This is a big week for you. And again, use this wisely. This is Archangel Azrael, and this says the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. I'm thrilled for you. I really am, because this is a big player kind of a card. And this says to me that this will mark a major transition point where you can now move into, because the figure, the angel, is out in the opening. So I feel like what is occurring for you, and if you can actually bring your awareness to this, that you're moving into being more seen, more out in the open, more willing to put forward your genuine, true voice, because this angel is completely illuminated in this golden color. And that tells me it's related to divine soul essence too, that there's just a knowing that you've been dancing around, scooting around, perhaps without fully, taking hold of it and saying, yes, this is me. This is where I am at. Now with transition and with transformation, as this points to, and with release, understand there is the letting go of something. But it's because, again, there's the opportunity to see this, that you have outgrown that now. That you have outgrown it, and if there is another person involved, or a situation or environment, whatever it is that you're dancing with on this topic, that other has also outgrown you. There just is there's no more harmony to be had there. And so sometimes, again, think about that word woundedness. I really want to push your buttons on this. Are you going to stick to the, oh, it's over, or oh, I need to leave my job, or again, think about the topics that I mentioned. Or, oh, this didn't work out and I'm now not getting the money that I expected around things with stability and finances. But is that because something else is lining up for you? And the more that this card speaks to really lining up to what is your true voice, what is your true calling, what have you found yourself being pulled towards? And this can be changing up what you value in this life. If you've just been through some kind of a relationship trauma of some sort, or upset even. It doesn't have to be really traumatic, but to us it can feel that way. And just be careful, don't get caught in the woundedness and the story. You are capable. It would not have occurred if you were not capable. So straighten up, pull yourself up and say, oh yeah, that's right. I do know how to get through this, because isn't it true? Our grandmothers always told us this too shall pass, and things come to a place where they even out again. And when you look back on those times when we've all had release moments, these moments of realizing that, oh, it feels like a weight is lifted off from you. And this can come in a really dramatic change kind of a way. However, we look back at those times and realize, that changed me. That changed the whole course of my life. And so to know that you're capable, you've been through these types of things before. And we got the power player of Uranus dancing around into Taurus. So we're all going through it. You're not alone on this, but just don't get caught in the story and the woundedness of whatever is going on, because this is something very significant for you in terms of opening you up to that vast public park. It's the fact that you are ready to open up to something more, something bigger, and most of all, something of your choosing. Remember what I was saying about the park. You get to choose. Do you want to take in the juggler and his act? Or do you want to just grab a pretzel and go sit under a tree and really enjoy the taste of that as you're just soaking up the energy from the tree? You know, you get to pick. And so you've outgrown whatever that energy is that is transitioning. With release, there is the point too of letting go. You got the dove all sort of captured in your hands and you're so loving it and I don't want to let you go. But then you let it go and you just are delighted in the flight. It is breathtaking. And so you're invited to really open up your hands and let that go. Because it's not true to who you are. I feel this is it's a truth teller. It's a truth teller part of you that is just ready to come forward and really stand out from this. This angel is not embedded in the trees. The angel is out in the open, you know. I'm not going to stand in the trees anymore. I'm not going to try to find places to hide so that people can't see me. I am going to be seen. And Uranus will help you out along with this new moon. And understand, this is a process. We're talking 7 years. And Chiron too, moving in Aries. I mean, these major transits are happening this year. And so Aries, becoming a leader and not soaking in the woundedness, like basking in, oh, the pain of it all. Those days are done. You are capable. The second card is from the Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides deck. And this is the cheetah. Oh boy. So I feel here, this is the fast-moving piece of the Uranus energy. Uranus as a planet is not a fast mover. Again, takes like, I think I said 85 years to go all the way around all the signs, and spending 7 years in Taurus. But it's the energy of Uranus that is going to bring a speed into those Taurian areas of your life. Now, the good opportunistic view of what I'm giving you before I even read the words on the card here is built into that, what I just said, the speed of like lightning change that Uranus brings. That's what it's known for. And just like freedom, it's like breaking, the wild horses breaking out of the enclosure and just going for it, bolting. That's the feel of Uranus. And it's going into slow as molasses Taurus. Taurus loves to just like, could we just slow on down and could we just take in the beauty? I think about my grandfather when he would go to the ocean and he would just look out and say, very sarcastically, but he loved nature, and he would say, if only I had my paints. And he wasn't a painter at all, but it's this taking in, this is Taurus, taking in the energy of nature, and could I just chew my food really slowly? There's pleasure and enjoyment with Taurus. It's the most luxurious sign of the zodiac. It basks in, I want to use the word decadence and pleasure, because it's ruled by the planet Venus, love and richness of life. Taurus just totally, slurps all that up, but very slowly and deliciously. And here we've got Uranus blasting on in. Bam! Here I am. Ba-ba-ba. Here comes the lightning bolts for the next 7 years. So let's read what the card says here, because again, you got the beauty of built-in rub. This is when manifestation happens in our life. We can't manifest anything. Think about fire. You need the 2 sticks, or you need the flint to strike against the stone. You need that rub in order to create something new. That's what's exciting for you, is the rub that I feel here. The card says, get clear on your intention, stay focused, and move quickly to achieve your goal. All right, so for you, I knew these were going to be big messages for people. The first card was definitely big, major transition time. And for you, I feel like this is Dream Maker. This is something that you wanted to work on, and your astro chart would tell you a lot about where this is for you. It's wherever Taurus is in your natal chart. So this speaks to really working on a big goal in life, something that you've been maybe putting off. You haven't, I'm really getting the feeling that the timing isn't right. You've been saying that to yourself for a long time. Or I'm not skilled enough, or I don't have the education, and this is a new day. Remember, I think it's very significant that, the asteroid, minor planet, comet, whatever we want to call Chiron in the skies moving into Aries. This is about you becoming a leader and not hooking yourself on everything that you're not, everything that is less than about you. That Chiron has been that wounded healer for far too long. And this is a new day for Chiron, because Aries is the start of the zodiac. So this has to do with you stepping into a level of leadership for yourself on something that matters to you. We're talking about Taurus. It's something that you value. It's something that you feel would bring more beauty and that deliciousness of life. And potentially it's something that can help you earn more money. It can bring greater stability to your life. This is how Uranus can help us out in Taurus, because as delicious and delightful as Taurus can be, remember there's always extremes of the energies in the zodiac. Taurus can also be unafraid to take a risk, because Taurus loves stability and safety and predictability. And so Taurus can want to just like, oh yeah, I'll just keep thinking about that. Things will line up. I got to wait till the kids are in college, or they get out of college, or I got to wait until I get this certification. You're making excuses. That's what I'm getting from Uranus for you. Like, no, no, no. So what you can, it's very important for you, around any time this week, really. But understand that the new moon is on Tuesday, the 15th. Same day that Uranus is moving into Taurus. So you need to get clear early in the week, because really it's the best if we get clear as that new moon energy is happening. we get clear and use it to the momentum to our advantage, you need to get clear on what your intention is. What's the big project, or what is the new part of you that wants to come forward? This feels more like a project though, or a work focus, or like a new venture, a new partnership of some sort. It feels more in that direction to me versus a relationship, meaning love or anything in that direction. This feels more like that inner passion of things that you could spend all day doing it and you totally lose yourself in it. It brings you a new sense of that bubbly passion in something where you've been dragging your feet. So really getting clear and understanding. Remember, our symbol for this week is a vast public park. The options are endless. You need to rethink. Do I really have to wait until ... What is it that you've been dragging your feet on? What are the, I'm going to call them excuses, because that's the Uranus energy coming through me on this message. What are the excuses you've been giving? And remember, I mean, this is a new day. The need for some big set of curriculum that you have to go through, or that you've got to wait until you have all the ducks lined up, or you've got to wait till you get X amount of money. There's more creativity available to you than that. You're really restricting yourself, and Taurus energy within all of us can be like that. Taurus can look at, oh no, I got to play it safe, and I've got to be studious about this. And I appreciate that. It has served me well in my life to be that way on many things. But then the things that I really remember in my life is when I took a risk and when I put my neck out there and I started to just do things regardless of what anybody, including just general society, feels I need to have in order to be reputable in something. So I hold great respect, for instance, for the practice of Reiki. It is what opened up my channel wide open, and I was off and running. But for me as an energy healer and a communicator, the horses are the ones that taught me, we just want your pure divine essence, and we don't want all the symbology. Again, this is just for me in my path. And since I've done that, that is what has grown my skill. That has what has made my readings and everything even more accurate and allowed me to go deeper with the horses, because I'm not trying to put a system, a symbology onto them, which for the horses, again, for me, I'm not going against Reiki here. It felt like a wet blanket that I was putting on them, because again, I'm the deliverer of the energy to them. They really work through me. They know what they need, and I'm just a channel for them. So that's the understanding I came to. I wasn't the healer coming to put the symbology and energy on them according to the Reiki system. Once I got it straight, that they know exactly what they're doing and they are healers, that is their role here. Once I got it straight that, oh right, I'm just the clear conduit channel, and they use me almost like a reflector, like bringing a mirror out with the sun. They just use me as the channel to direct the energy, and they do that through dowsing rods and through hand work. They just totally communicate what they need. So that's what I'm saying. The vast public park symbol that we have for this week is inviting you to think about more creative options, and also to know that the universe, the divine source, whatever you call that energy that's bigger than you, will guide you. The signs will be shown. And if you can have trust in that and just begin, you got to put your neck out beyond the line a little bit in order to give a cue to Uranus. I'm ready. I'm hearing you. I know. Cheetah time. It's time for me to move forward on this goal that I have. So I hear you and I want your help. So I just need to give you an indication, and that can be one tiny baby step. And then before you know it, you're ready to take a next step. And then you start talking to people about it. And then they're like, did you know Sally over here does something similar to that? I'm wondering if either you two should talk. And then something comes out of that. And this, you're literally led down. You're being led into the vast public park so that you can then choose. Because you might have the conversation with Sally, but it might take you into a whole other realm that you're not even thinking about right now. Uranus is inviting us to open up to the vast public park and to not feel like it has to be one exact footstep in front of the other. You might stop and rest for a while. You might decide to skip. You might decide to run. You might be jogging this way, and then all of a sudden you go zzz, and over you go. That's all possible in the vast public park. It's not if you are on a wooded path where literally you have to put one foot in front of the other. You're moving too quickly for that with the way Uranus wants to work with you. So get clear on your intention and get real with yourself about what's been holding you back. The third card is from, I very rarely use this deck because it was a personal deck sent to me by a dear friend when I was first diagnosed with cancer. And this is the Magdalene Oracle. And these are all paintings done on silk. And there's very specific text that goes with each one. It's by a woman named Sharanda Ann Kumara. So I haven't used these very often, but this is what wanted to come forward. So I'm going to show you the card, and I want to read some from her description. Mama Gaia, abundance. Oh boy. Isn't that beautiful? The artwork on these is just amazing. So I want to read you a little bit from this abundance card. Let me pull that up here. Mama Gaia. So I'll read a little, and then I just want to tap in myself to sort of give more that I'm intuitively given based on the intro that I gave. All right. Just seeing what's probably the best here. So ground yourself deep into the heart of loving Mother Earth. Walk barefoot on her loving ground. Hold her trees to feel their warmth and love. Feel the embrace of her greatness and know that you are one with the Earth's body. You came from her body, and your body is ascending into the higher dimensions along with her. Like a huge cherry tree, pregnant and abundant with mature fruit, she feels you as you feel her. She, the great Mother Goddess, calls you to love and cherish her. Your heart is activated to love and to become one with her heightened state of cosmic ascension. Be not afraid, hold back nothing. We are traveling together as one light, one life, one divine being, rich in love and wisdom. So I definitely feel that richness that Taurus is. Taurus is really the most earthy. I have a crystal in my earth team that's called the Hippie Goddess, and it's a combination of azurite and malachite, And when I held that stone for the first time, it's very powerful. It's totally Taurus. And I'm feeling that now with this card. It's this, like, you've got the ring of flowers on your hair, and you're just sort of like tiptoeing along through like wildflowers, and then you go into the forest and you're foraging for mushrooms, and you're picking up the succulents, and I really want to use that word here. You're picking up the succulents of what nourishes you. And this really calls you. I just feel that with this Uranus energy, Uranus is about change, but I feel for you this is about getting, because this is so grounded. This card is all about the earth and about Gaia as a being, as an energy being, and your connection to that. And I feel this sense of refreshing your roots is what's coming through. And Uranus can be the change maker in this instance for you. And with this new moon shining down, well, it's the thing with new moon is we don't see it. The energy shines down, though, to give this freshness that I feel for you. Refreshing of those roots. There are a lot of roots, and by that what I mean is stories, and I mean some value, pieces of your value set that are ready for refreshment. And again, this is not an overnight process. This is enjoying the tiptoeing through the tulips, so to speak, to weed out over the next 7 years those things that just really are not serving you. They are not succulents that you can pick, that you can choose to bring this sense of sustenance to your body, to your being, and sense of refreshment. We put ourselves out there and we keep going through these cycles in our life where we, give in so many roles within our life. But then there are times like this with Uranus, these big transits that happen when we can have the opportunity to be mindfully aware of, is it time for me to think about what is my value set? What is it that I look to as nurturing me, sustaining me, and feeding me, literally, when you think about roots, because I'm so drawn to the earth connection here. When you think about roots, they travel down past all of whatever is in the earth, rocks and sand, and then there's gravelly parts, and there's water, and that will keep going. But at some point, you can bring your awareness to that set of roots to say, you know what, that's really not working for me anymore. Or I'm not pulling up enough water, enough sustenance anymore from that. Because Uranus invites change. It is the change maker in the sky. And it can be quick change. But I feel for you that I'm getting a slower pace. And Uranus, the effect of Uranus, I think, will be slower over this next 7 years, simply because it's in Taurus, which is really slow and loves to just take its time, and let's enjoy this, and let's look and seek out the beauty. It's like that just beautiful watching the sun slowly rise or set. It's the beauty in the journey for Taurus. It's enjoying every step in the process. But I keep being drawn to the roots, like just really taking a fresh look slowly. You don't have to make it fast. There were other cards, you know, the card I just did was more about speed. And I'm not picking up on that piece of Uranus for you. I'm feeling this is about really using that change maker energy to reevaluate the disc upon which you stand, or the roots that you depend on for your sustenance, for how you live your life. And this, for some of you, this can also be literally how you decide, how you bring money in. Like it or not, we need money in order to survive on this planet. It's what allows us to have those basics in our life. And really taking a fresh look at that. And do I feel like that particular root system is bringing in the sustenance, bringing in the flow of abundance, because this card is abundance. And that we're either stopping the flow or we're allowing it. But to understand that you are constantly growing new roots all the time. But if you don't put the loving attention into them, you're not going to tap out what you're looking for. You know, you're not going to be able to pull up from the roots. So it's okay to say, all right, I don't want to do that, but I want to put the attention over here. And where attention goes, energy flows. That's just the law of attraction. That's the way energy works. When you get your attention set on something and you feel truly that it is bringing you sustenance, that's important for you in this reading. That it is allowing you to grow, because the image and all of the imagery that I'm getting as I was reading about from the book is that you're getting to the point where you're ready to grow some new branches, and you're ready to let go of some branches that aren't working. I feel this sense of trimming, you know, and getting clear on the root structure. And understanding if you're holding on to something that you've been thinking, oh, this is going to be it. But you see it keeps wilting and wilting and wilting, and it's just not really thriving. Then Uranus can help you here, and this new moon can help you set the intention. I want to get clear. I want clarity on what brings me a sense of groundedness in my life, greater sense of nourishment, and being taken care of, and understanding that I can selectively pick where I want to focus my energy to bring a greater sense of nourishment. So that then the tree begins to grow more branches up, and different structures are created. And there is, you know, new buds that appear, and that it's ever growing. But it has to find a way for sustenance. And if the topic of money isn't speaking to you here, this is then about that pure soul, wild spirit within us. Do we feel like we're making a difference? Do we feel like whatever you're passionate about is getting some kind of an outlet? Because if it gets stopped up, that essentially is like one of the roots getting kind of hitting a place where it can't grow anymore. And that's when sort of disruption occurs, which Uranus is great at and can be helpful in sort of upsetting the balance so that you get clarity really quick. I'm not really feeling that speed angle as much, though. It's more about taking the time to really get clear on the root system, your values, how you're getting your sustenance, and that's also about your passion. We all have these unique passions, and the world needs them. It needs you, whatever it is, because there's a reason you're drawn to it. And so find that outlet, find a way to begin letting that feed you, because it will. There we go, everybody. big week for us. So let's set our intentions. Let's use this energy productively. There's no room for fear here. You're capable. You got this. We're letting go of the wounded healer. We're letting go of our stories. We're stepping into the vast public park, and we get to choose which way we go, who or what we interact with, and how we spend our day there. Have a good week.